Hi there YouTube, this is the Magnus, bringing you another Total War Warhammer online ladder battle. Again, I ran into another opponent who chose the Empire, so I figured, hey, let's bring Chaos again and see if we can make this build work yet again. And if you have forgotten, it's a Hellcannon double ranked up, along with 2 Chaos Warhounds with poison, double ranked up, 4 Chosen, 3 Chaos Warriors with halberds, and Archaon the Ever Chosen. And I just laid out my army like this, so I have the halberds on the flanks, the Chosen in the center, an extra halberd in reserve for dealing with being attacked from behind or just sending them towards Cav wherever they might be. And I've got the Warhounds back there. I forward deployed the Hellcannon, trying to get it in range as quickly as possible, and I've got Archaon on his famous mount just chilling there in the middle. Now let's see what my opponent did. He forward deployed the Royal Altdorf Griffites, and with him he has an Empire Captain and a Bright Wizard. And then in his main troop body here, he has Sigmar's Sons, the Tattersouls, 2 Great Swords, 1 Halberdier with double silver chevrons, a Hellstorm Rocket Battery, and a General of the Empire. Now, the Hellstorm Rocket Battery, anti-infantry, is a good thing for going up against Chaos, but it does not have the armor piercing, so I don't necessarily love that. Oh, and I forgot, over here he hid, or tried to hide, some great cannons, which obviously do have armor piercing, but they are anti-large, great for taking out stuff like giants and whatnot, but I don't have that. And I think you're going to find this to be a pretty interesting battle, because in so many ways it's going to end up being unconventional. And I love that, when I don't know what to expect or what's going to happen. So you're going to see I push up while my Hellcannon is being directed to fire on the Royal Griffites. It's going to take me a while to remember that one. Don't see this unit used a lot. Beautiful model. They are armor-piercing anti-large. These guys are pretty much the creme de la creme for taking on other Cav and monsters, things of that effect. And he's going to realize that I'm lining him up and make a move, but going to get a nice hit on the Cav and do some damage to the Bright Wizard there. And right now he's moving down to get his Hellstorm Rocket Battery into range. And he's also doing the same with his Great Cannon. And around the flank here, he's sending a unit of Outriders with grenade launchers to try and sneak up on me. So right now we're just starting off with an interesting little duel of artillery. Now, since he moved his cavalry out of range, I'm going to try to hit his Hellstorm Rocket Battery. I just want to see how I would do going against other artillery with the Hellcannon. I haven't really used it much in that way, or even used this unit a whole lot, so I wasn't really sure what to expect. Some more testing probably would have been appropriate, but hey, why not bring it into battle? The cool thing is, and maybe you haven't noticed, but the Hellcannon has 2 abilities. One that allows it to move more quickly, and one that allows it to do more explosion and armor piercing damage, which is really cool. And you want to make sure you use those as needed and don't waste it. So he's going to bring these Outriders in. Unfortunately, I'm going to notice it. Unfortunate for him, fortunate for me, and react accordingly. But initially I don't, and I send one of my Chaos Warhounds over here to hide in the woods, but then I see him, and really right here he should have broken it off, but the problem for him is his Outriders are much slower than my Chaos Warhounds, and they're going to be even more so once they get poisoned. So got the poison boys just chewing on these guys. Quite effective, and you're going to see the Outriders, they're very poor in melee combat, so they have no chance. I had pulled back one halberd that wasn't necessary. So it looks like, though, he hasn't given up on the concept, because I see him sending this contingent around. In the meantime, he's firing off the Hellstorm Rocket Battery into my units, but he hasn't had a kill yet, and he's used about half of his ammo. So not the best result necessarily, but I'm going to realize that firing at the Hellstorm is not doing me any favors. I'm going to go back to firing at his regular units. So right now he's firing it, firing his artillery into here, and he's also going to cast the Burning Skull. Doesn't get much action out of that. It is a vortex, and those things are so unpredictable. So I start reforming my front line, and I send these boys over to try to deal with his attack. Now these Royal Griffites are tough, but the poison's going to help me. And that's the thing I like about these Warhounds, and I'm going to follow it up with Chaos Warriors with Halberds. I'm using Standard Die, Cascading Fire Cloak, Foe Seeker, Deadly Onslaught, just about everything in my arsenal to really burst these guys down. He's firing into this engagement. In the meantime, let's see where my artillery's shooting at these days. Okay, looks like I'm going for his great swords. Missed there, but that happens. Back here, the battle continues. His Empire Captain starts to waver as I bring in even more Chaos Warriors. And it looks like his Bright Wizard sneaks around and gets into my little Chaos Dwarfs back here. Can't wait till these guys are released as a faction. They are so nasty. Very cool dudes. But until then, Archaon's going to chase this guy off. And over here, his Cav took a pretty bad beating, backed off. The Empire Captain retreated, but then he used his potion, and he's as good as new again. Not a big fan of the potions, but it is what it is. He actually hits Archaon with his artillery, which has got to be like a 1 in a million shot for them. So far, his artillery's just about out of ammo, and it has 4 kills, so not super effective, but I haven't been yet either. But that's going to change things. That's a beautiful hit. Let's check on the Hellcannon. Right now it's sitting at 30 kills. So he brings his Cav back around with his Empire Captain, still trying to get to my Hellcannon. So I start to realize that that's what this fight's going to be all about. How long can I protect my Hellcannon? The Burning Head's going to get into my men here some, just barely, and the Chosen are kind of going to shrug that off. So I'm just trying to keep up with them with these halberds. I still have Archaon, but he's over here hunting down this Bright Wizard and putting the beating on him. And that's definitely an important thing for me to try to get off the field. Again, he's shooting his artillery into this engagement and having a pretty good go at it. My Hellcannon's up to 35 kills. His Great Cannon's up to 31 though, so I start to realize I've got to do a lot better because I have, smaller unit sizes. So any kill that he gets is more important than kills I'm getting on his larger units. But with him having the Regiments of Renown and stuff like that, our army sizes initially were pretty close. And they still are pretty close. So here he's going to come in for a charge. I'm going to try to get these halberds on him. We do tackle one of the Cav units, but he's getting through and he's going to hit my poor little Chaos Dwarfs. They don't care, they're unbreakable, which is a really cool thing for an artillery unit. And he continues to push through. I continue to give chase. His Empire Captain's kind of chilling here looking for an opening. Archaon's chased this guy way too far without being able to catch him, so I send him sprinting back to the line. Let's see how our artillery's been doing. It looks like we made a mess out of these great swords, put decent damage on the Tattersoul so far. And I think we're nowhere near done. Nope, we still have almost half our ammo. So now he brings in the Empire Captain, but he's just not able to get a clean hit. Now, here you're going to notice, what did I do back here? I forgot about those units entirely. So that's definitely a micro mistake of the day. I puts this Cav into the back of my infantry. Creative idea, but it's not going to work for him because the Chosen just aren't going to have that. So they're going to issue a chaos style beatdown on these guys. And the other thing with how heavily armored these guys are, they have pretty good mass, so it's hard to escape. You're going to see escaping is just not working out for them. So I'm glad to get them off the field. The Empire Captain is still a pain in my butt, but the amount of damage he can do in a burst is much less than what that cavalry could do. So I feel better about the situation. You're going to see I'm still just blowing the crap out of his infantry line here. Had a lot more success as of late with the cannon, and the Hellcannon is now up to 117 kills. So I start to reform my main line here as I see him creeping the Bright Wizard back. I'm expecting magic, and that's exactly what I get. but he swings and misses. And now I have Archaon chasing the Empire captain around. And really, there's not much he can do at this point. 2 halberds here and Archaon. Just he's not going to be able to get to that Hellcannon. So it's going to get to keep firing its full complement at the enemy. We're headed this time. Alright, trying to get another hit on Sigmar's Sons. Just a bit too high. And back here, things have calmed down. He's still circling around, but it looks like he may want to go back, but nope, he's just trying to find an angle. And I definitely give him an A for effort. He's really tried to get into that thing. So now I start firing at his other great swords that he has in the back, just trying to weaken all the infantry he has. Let's see how his great cannon's doing. It's at 58 kills. So between that and Hellstorm rocket battery, he's had less success than I have with just my Hellcannon. His Cav come in for one more hoorah with the Empire Captain, but I'm quickly going to be able to encircle these guys. Archaon's going to start throwing down Foe Seeker, Standard Die, Flaming Sword of Ruin, and that's going to be enough for us to be able to spike these guys, put out a bunch of damage. His Cav unit is completely obliterated, and right now we're working on the Empire Captain. In the meantime, my dwarves are trying to get somewhere with the cannon. They're not having much luck with all the jumbled up mass that we have here. Again, he's going to approach with his Bright Wizard and try to punish me with more of his spells. And I'm okay with that. I prefer from fire to use the buff and debuff stuff. Actually, they're both buffs with fire. Flaming Sword of Ruin and the Cascading Cloak. I just think they're a lot better. Bang for your buck. But he does get a good shot there on some of my infantry and on the Hellcannon. But the dwarfs, they're going to go back to work because that's what they do. They're evil dwarfs and they love to kill things. I don't even know what that is. I don't want to know. Every time I see it, I'm grossed out by it. But if you look at it, there's 2 of these fleshy balls next to this cannon with a head on it. Kind of creepily suggestive. Bang, Tattersoul's just getting wrecked. Some of them are going to get back up, but the damage is done. And let's just take a look. I mean, these guys are beat to crap. These guys will be if they aren't already. Great swords are beat up. His Hellstorm didn't do too well as far as living. So I really like the situation. The balance bars in my favor. He's having to cross the field. My men are nice and rested for the most part, except for Archaon, who's a little tired. So I feel it's very much in my favor. My Hellcannon at this point is up to a silver chevron and over 200 kills. Just about to run out of ammo, so the timing's perfect. I'm going to countercharge with my Chosen. No armor versus some of the heaviest armored stuff in the game. Your guess is as good as mine, but I think we both know where that's going to go. These Sigmar's Son, good unit, but not many of them left, and they're going to get double charged there. Here I'm going to pick off his halberdiers from the side, and these Chosen are going to go up and chase these great swords and get engaged with them. And then I still have these men in reserve, so I pull them into the largest pile there, and I have the Chaos Warriors with halberds trying to chase this darn Bright Wizard because he's been a pain in my butt. In the meantime, in the middle here, Archaon is going to be directed to go after the General of the Empire. He's had to do a lot of fighting this battle, but that's what he specializes in. He loves a good fight. Again, using all the abilities and spells that I can to keep my units performing as good as possible. General of the Empire very quickly decides he does not want to go toe-to-toe with Archaon and his giant force, and we end up with a decisive victory over the Empire. I apologize if that fight was a little long, but I just thought it was cool. It went with a different pacing, and just the way it played out was just fun for me. It was atypical, and that's something I enjoy. So let's look at the tail of the tape. First of all, as always, I want to say good game to my opponent. I appreciate anybody who's competitive, and he definitely tried very hard and played to the best of his ability, I'm sure. The Hellcannon ended up with double silver chevrons and 214 kills, and God knows how much health removed. So definitely the all-star of the show. But of course, all of my forces had a part to play in protecting it, which was fantastic. And then when they finally reached our lines, these guys just chopped them down so quick. I mean, how long was that engagement? And these guys put up 51 kills, for example. And the poison warhounds, who I forgot about, were very important in the beginning of the battle, and one of them even got an extra chevron. For my opponent, the Hellstorm was just so ineffective against Chaos. I was shocked. I thought it would not do as well as it does against a lot of other people, but I still thought it would be significant, and it just wasn't. The Great Cannon, on the other hand, was definitely the star of the show for his side. He had plenty of time to fire that bad boy off. The Royal Altdorf Griffites, for as expensive as they are, didn't get it done. His infantry got demolished by the artillery, and then once they reached my lines, they got clobbered to death. And his leadership crew, as much as they tried to get to my Hellcannon, failed. And when the General of the Empire brought it, he didn't stick around too long. I mean, he still had a lot of health, but he had no desire to go up against Archaon, the Ever-Chosen. So, anyways, it was a really cool fight. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. If you did, please smash that like button, slam that subscribe button. It helps out a lot, and I really do appreciate it. Until the next time, this is the Magnus. Thanks, and see you soon.